Nigel.
It's unbelievable! I was late because of a broken rail and the thing controller criticized me!
You were careless! You ran over the broken rail and I had to rescue you.
You just don't understand. The thing controller always says I'm to blame when it comes to mistakes involving me. I just can't catch a break.
I'd watch your attitude if I were you. You could end up like...
I know, like Godred. I was there when Coldy told us the story.
Not Godred, you silly engine. There was an engine who worked on Sodor long before you arrived.
There was? Who was his engine?
Duncan rolled his eyes.
Don't encourage him, Rusty.
The other engines ignored him. Skarloey began to tell his story.
In 1914, when the Northwestern Railway was first formed, an engine was needed to help with its construction and tackle heavy loads that the coffee pots could not. And so, one was built at A.W. Dry & Company's works by Sir Thomas Hat 1, the Northwestern Railway's first controller, who was also known in this period as the Fat Director. The engine's name was Nigel. He was hot-headed, ignorant, cocky, and careless. His driver and fireman told him off time and time again.
Your attitude and arrogance will get you into trouble one day. Nonsense, I've a right to be proud. This railway would never function if it was not for me. How about showing how grateful you are by admiring me? Well, I admire you when you show more sense.
But Nigel never listened. He still went on in his cocky way. One day, he was rushing to Tidmouth Harbor with the freight train when he began to feel unwell.
Driver, you need to stop now. Something's wrong.
His driver, in a panic, slammed on the brakes and stopped the train a few miles short of Tidmouth.
Your water tanks have run dry. Stay here. We'll get help at Tidmouth. Sorry, old boy, but if you had been patient, this would not happen.
Nigel could only sigh in agreement. Unfortunately, before the driver and fireman left, they had forgotten to shut off Nigel's steam pressure. More and more steam rapidly built up in Nigel's boiler, and Nigel was burning on the inside. He screamed in pain, but there was not help for it. Then... the driver and fireman had reached a safe distance and managed to avoid certain doom, but Nigel was no more. It seemed that in the end, he had learned his lesson, but the lesson was learned too late. Some of his remains were salvaged for other engines who took his place.
So, he was cannibalized?
In some ways, yes, and eventually, he was forgotten about. Not even Thomas or Edward asked about him when they arrived on Sodor.
Duncan and the other engines were left in absolute silence for the rest of the night.